Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shavonne and welcome. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell because you don't want to miss out on any of my eyeshadow tutorials or my story times. So yes, today is a story time. I want to first of all apologize because it should have been up yesterday on Monday, but I had it set the upload time to upload last night. Got up this morning, it was not uploaded. Tried to put it back up, it would not work. So I'm refilming this video today. But you know what? I'm not gonna let y'all guys down. I'm still gonna be posting twice a week. I don't care how many times I have to re-record things or re-edit them. So, like I said before, today is a story time. This story time takes place when back when I used to live in New Orleans. And first, let me just say, don't ever think you know a city. And me at the time, I think I was probably had newly moved to New Orleans because I was pretty young. What's that they say? Young, wild, and free. Yeah, that was me. So, I'd been to the Quarter a couple times, you know, I bartended in the Quarter. Like, I thought I knew the city. But one thing I didn't know till later on is like New Orleans was known as murder capital of the world for I don't know how many decades. And the Mississippi runs right there and gators eat bones. So, and people vanish from New Orleans quite often. So none of that stuff was in my head. All I thought was like, oh, this is a cool city. You know, everybody's partying, drinking, music playing all the time. Well, anyway, so this particular day, it was like a Friday or so, and myself and a few other friends had decided we were going to go to the Quarter because our mutual friend, it was her birthday, and she actually had like a little apartment type house in the Quarter. So she had told us, she's like, well, you know, another thing, let me just say this too. If you go to New Orleans or you live in New Orleans, you know people there, they're like professional drinkers. Like that's what they do. Like they drink, a lot of people, well, I ain't gonna say all, but a lot will wake up in the morning, start cracking open drinks, making cocktails, and you can buy alcohol 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at any time in New Orleans. So I'm just going to put that out there. Plus, they have drive-through Daiquiri shops where you can just pull up, ask for a slush, you tell them put you an extra shot of 151, or and they put a straw in your cup with the little paper tip, hand it to you through the window, and let you drive off. So yeah, that's New Orleans. So now back to what I was saying. It was my friend's birthday. We all decided to gather around. She lived in the Quarter and stuff like that. So she was like, when we get tore back, we're just going to walk to my apartment. Y'all all going to stay the night here. So, you know, find a parking garage or find a parking lot, wherever you want to park, and get your ticket, and we'll meet at Tequila. Now, Tequila is like a bar. It's a tequila bar, pretty much. But they have other drinks as well, but it's mainly tequila, in the name, Tequila. Well, anyway, so it's on Bourbon Street. And they also have food there. So we met there it was probably around close to dinner time, 6:37 or something like that. So me and one of my homegirls, she came down from Mississippi. Let me first put that out there. She drove in from Mississippi and she knew we were going to get tore back. So I told her, I was like, don't worry about, you know, driving back home because we're probably going to be partying for 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And then I said, so we'll go back to my apartment Saturday evening or whatever, and then you can get up in the morning Sunday and drive back home. So she was like, okay, cool. So she met at my apartment. We got in my car. We drove to the Quarter. And we ended up parking at DH Homes. And DH Homes, I think it's also an apartment complex, but they have a parking garage as well. It's like the corner of Iberville and Bourbon, pretty much. So we ended up parking at DH Homes, and we walk around the corner to Bourbon Street, walk up Bourbon like a couple blocks, and we go into Tequila. We met all our friends or whatnot. So we're sitting there, we're eating, we're chit-chatting, we're cutting it up, blah, blah, blah. And one thing I thought was really cool about Tequila is the back shelf behind the bar is nothing but tequilas. So I remember asking the bartender too. I was like, "What is your most expensive tequila?" And he was like, "The bottle at the very top is like $90 a shot." So that's just a little information about that little pub restaurant. I don't even know what you would call it, bar type thingy. It's kind of cool. Well, anyway, so we're sitting there, we're eating and everything, lining our stomach, getting ready to start slamming shots. We're in the NO, the big NO. It's a Friday evening, and we about to throw back. It's a birthday about to go down. We about to just tear it up. So we're eating and everything, having conversations. So I was like, "Hey, y'all want to go down to Famous Doors?" And they're like, "Yeah." And Famous Doors is like it's like a club. It has a bar, but it has a dance floor, and they also have like a little stage where they have live bands and local bands and stuff. Which I love live music, so I was like, "Let's go down to Famous Doors," because it was right around dusk, and that's when they started having their bands play. So we get through eating our food. We go down to Famous Doors. We're having a good time. We have a couple shots. We're all out there dancing on the dance floor. The band's playing. We just having a wonderful time. And I was like, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the ladies' room." So they're like, "Okay, cool." So I turn to walk, and when I walk into the ladies' room, I catch out of the corner of my eye, there's like these two dudes. They were just like, I don't even know how to explain how they were looking at me, and they were looking at my friends the same way, because when I came back out, I noticed them staring directly at them as well. They just had this intense look in their eyes. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was really, really weird. So anyways, I go to the ladies' room and I come back out, and I notice when I'm coming back out, they're staring at my friends who are on the dance floor dancing too with the same intense look. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, that's weird and that's odd. Well, maybe they think we're attractive, blah, blah, whatever. I just kind of blew it off. So I go back on the dance floor, we're dancing and blah, blah. And we get off the dance floor, we're sitting at one of the little tables, and we're drinking and talking and stuff. And I cracked a joke. I can't remember. I started laughing. When I laughed, I turned my head, and they're still looking at us crazy. So I turned to my friend that came with me that was from Biloxi, Mississippi. I was like, "Girl," I said, "don't look." You know how you tell your friends, "Don't look." I'm like, "Girl, don't look." And I was like, "I mean it. Don't look." By then, we got a nice little buzz going. She's like, "Okay, okay." I was like, "Look at those two guys over at the bar." I said, "One's got on like a yellow shirt, and the other one's got on a black shirt." And I was like, "They are like staring like into our souls." Like, it literally looked like they were like they were looking like, I don't even know. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. They were like literally looking at us like they were trying to look into our soul. It was so freaking creepy. So she's like, "Okay." So she's like, "I'm going to go to the ladies' room and I'll look." When I walk by, I was like, "Okay, cool." So she comes back. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so freaking weird." I said, "I know. It's too much for me, too intense." She's like, "Yeah, me too." And so I was like, "Hey, y'all want to go down to Harris and let's go play some blackjack, gamble, win some money, some of that shmoney, honey." And they were like, "Yeah, yeah." So we got up and we're walking down Bourbon Street. We hit Canal. We're walking up to Harris, and me and homegirl, we're talking about telling them about the guys and stuff like that. They were like, "Man, that's freaking weird." And then they were like, "Well, maybe you're just like a little intense there today, Shavonne." I was like, "No, I peeped it. I know I could be slow sometimes." I was like, on peeping stuff, but I peeped it. So we get down to Harris and we were playing blackjack. We must have been at the blackjack table maybe like 15, maybe close to 20 minutes. So I was like, and once we got done, I asked my other girlfriends, like, "Hey, I want to go hit the slot machines." They're like, "Yeah, yeah." So we get up from the blackjack table, and as soon as I get up, I look to my right, and I see them seeing me see them. But I try to like play it off like, you know how we try to turn, you try to glance like that. That's what I did, hoping that they didn't really catch me or know that I actually saw them. So they were wanting to go sit at slot machines that was kind of near them. I was like, "No, no, the best machines are over here. Let's go over here." So I got them all to go over there. And so when we sat down, I was like, "Hey," I was like, "those two dudes are here." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, she's like, "No." My homegirl's from Mississippi. She's like, "No." I was like, "Girl, look," right? Because they were sitting Our blackjack table was here. You know how they have like slot machines? They like 2 rows, and usually the machines are back to back. So pretty much, if you're sitting in a chair here, the other guy's sitting in a chair here. If y'all tilt each other's heads, y'all can see each other. But our table was here. They were sitting at the machines on this side so they could face us. So I was like, they're here, they're here. And so one of my homegirls, she was like, oh, you're just reading too much into it, you're being paranoid. I was like, okay, I'm just letting y'all know right now. So we played the slots a couple times, and then we got up and we left. We cashed in our tickets or whatnot, and then we ended up leaving. So we walk out, and we're walking back down Canal, and we were gonna go down to, what's the name of that place? I think it's called Slap Your Mama's. Something like that. It's called Slap Your Mama. They got some bomb, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bar food, their burgers and stuff. It's kind of like it's one of those restaurants. I don't know if it's still open, but it's one of those restaurants that only the locals really know about. Because if you're not a local, if you're like a tourist, you walk in there, people look at you like they're plotting on you. It's like one of those type of spots, but their food is amazing. So anyways, we go down. I think it's called Slap Your Mom. I'm not for sure. It's kind of like back off in the quarter. So we're in there. We had like another snack or whatnot. We was hitting some drinks and stuff and putting money in the jukebox and everything like that. And then we walk out. We're like tore back. It's getting late now. So we're tired. We're celebrating her birthday 2 days in a row. So that's the reason why we're going to be there Friday and Saturday, and she told us we could stay the night there. So we're walking back to her little apartment. As soon as we walk, now remember I told you this restaurant thing is kind of the back of the quarter. So if you see Canal Street and then you see where Bourbon Street, I call that the front of the quarter. Bourbon Street, Iberville Cross, you'll see Acme Oyster House or whatever on your right. That to me is the front of the quarter. And then you can go way back. So this little Slap Your Mama's place is kind of way at the back. And Harrah's is like up there on Canal Street. I had to wet my whistle real quick. Anyway, so we're back there at Slap Your Mama's, and we're having a good time, having a couple cocktails, whatnot, and having some food and everything. So by the time we got done with that, we walk out of the restaurant / bar, pub, or whatever you want to call it. And I peep these dudes. They're literally, okay, so we're walking down the right side of the street, and I see them, and it's getting dark. I'm telling you, it's getting dark. And they're on the left side coming up. So I straight up just bumped my homegirl. I was like, you gonna tell me that I'm just making stuff in my head? I said, look to the left. And they all turned and looked, and they were like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. So we were gonna walk back to the birthday girl's apartment, which is in the quarter. And I said, we gotta make some circles, we gotta zigzag, we gotta make sure they don't follow us back to your apartment, because we don't know what their intent is. I said, you do know, like they don't know. They were pretty much born and raised there, majority of them. The New Orleans is murder capital of the world for how many decades? Mississippi right there, gators eat bones, honey. I'm not trying to be on an episode of CSI. So we start like going through the quarter and zigzag. By then, I'm confused, because even though I've lived in New Orleans for years, I've never been to like the back part of the quarter. So everything starts to look the same, and it's like being lost in the woods. And I never remember street names. Like I always remember like landmarks or different things that are like on different blocks or whatever. That's how I find my way. That's my GPS. Anyway, so we're zigzagging all through the quarter and stuff. We finally get back to the birthday girl's apartment in the French Quarter, and we're sitting there, we're talking about this. I'm like, this is crazy. Everybody's like, that's insane, blah, blah, blah. I was like, so pretty much these dudes been following us, seems like, for like 2 days now. So we sat there and we like kind of was like cutting it up or whatnot. And after a while, me and my homegirls like, okay, saying goodbye to everybody. It was time for us to go. Blah, blah. So we walk out of my, the birthday girl's apartment. But before I left, I was like, which road do I need to hit? Because I'm not used to being at this far back, this far deep in the French Quarter. So she's like, yeah, go straight down this road, make a right. And by the time we got out that apartment, started walking down the street, we cutting up, chit-chatting and stuff. I don't even remember the directions. I asked my homegirl, do you remember? She's like, no, we'll find it. It's not that big, because the French Quarter really is not that big. So it's like dusk. So like I said, I parked at DH Homes parking garage, which is at the front of the quarter. So it's like Bourbon Street and Iberville is the first road that goes across Bourbon Street. So we're walking, and I'm like, I know we were walking in circles because it got dark quick. And like I said, the French Quarter is not that big. So it got dark. And I remember like a while back, someone told me, and it was like it echoed in my head as soon as I started seeing the like nightfall come on. And that's when I pulled my taser out my purse. Because how I got the taser, let me do a real quick thing on that. Well, I was so used to like going hanging out in the French Quarter, me and my friends and stuff. Security got used to seeing us around. They were always saying, y'all some little petite girls, y'all need to have some sort of protection. This is not the city to be like just roaming. So one of the security guards said, I know somebody who can get y'all tasers. He got me a 900,000 volt taser. I paid him for it, blah, blah. So that's how I got my taser. So anyways, we're walking, and I notice the sun is going down fast. And usually like in the quarter, you can hear a bunch of people, music and stuff playing. And so I remember like a while back, someone saying, if you're ever walking a corner, if you're ever walking in the French Quarter and you turn a block and there's no one there, you don't hear music, you don't hear people, you need to turn around because you're in a bad zone. It's dangerous. You can get snatched real quick and nobody will see a thing. So that started echoing in my head when we hit that one corner, and I'm like, where's all the people? And the sun's going down fast. So I'm telling my homegirl, like, girl, we gotta find the people. I was like, listen, we gotta listen so we can hear the music. So this is how deep, because you know, if you go to the French Quarter, you like Bourbon Street and the little streets next to it, there's like loud people playing instruments on the road, and there's lots of tourists walking around talking and stuff. I don't even know where the heck we were because it was like crickets and tumbleweed, and it was getting dark fast. And I kept on saying, we gotta hurry up, we gotta hurry up. It's dark, it's getting dark. She's like, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. It's not that big, French Quarter is not that big. So we're walking, I'm speed walking. That's why when people meet me these days, they're like, man, you walk fast. I was like, cause I had to learn how to walk fast living in New Orleans. But anyway, so we hit another corner and there's like no people. Like it's like literally by then the sun had set, it was dark. And I was like, okay, and all the businesses started shutting down. That's another thing. If you're ever in a French Quarter and as soon as the lights start going off and business starts shutting down, you need to get somewhere because that's when all the craziness starts. So I started seeing like places closing up. And like, or like, cause the ones who are like the, how do you explain it? A lot of businesses that aren't like right in like the hot spot, they usually shut down pretty early. So I started noticing like the lights going off on the street, and it was like so quiet. There was no people, no music. I was like, we gotta hurry, we gotta hurry. So I was speed walking, she's speed walking with me. And all of a sudden I started hearing like, we wasn't talking because we were both scared by then. We didn't know where we were. We just wanted to get the DH Homes Park garage so I get that car, we could get back to my apartment. So we're like quiet, we're walking. I started hearing like footsteps behind us. And I was like, I remember looking at her and I was like, shh. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, just be quiet. I said, just keep walking, because I heard it behind me. And one thing I had like an uncle of mine tell me, who was like in the military, he said, if you're ever somewhere and you're walking and you hear footsteps, speed up. If those footsteps speed up, then just listen. He's like, listen, and he said, one of the things that will save a lot of people's lives, if they hear that coming up and they turn around and surprise the person who's gonna get them, it kind of throws them off. So they don't know what to do. They're kind of like frantic, like their mind it's kind of like they shut down or whatever. That gives you a chance to get away. So we're walking, and I hear the footsteps, and I look at her, I was like, shh. She's like, well, I said, just walk. I said, don't turn around, it's gonna be okay, take a deep breath. There's somebody behind us. I was like, walk faster. So we started walking faster, I started noticing the footsteps were getting faster. And I noticed at the corner of my eye, there was like two other guys, like in the crevices, the dark crevices of the streets. I didn't look too much, I just saw them out the corner of my eye because I didn't want them to know I noticed them. So I'm like, okay, do you hear the music? Do you hear the music? She's like, no, not yet. And then like I could kind of faintly hear like a crowd of people. I was like, we got to get to where people are. We got to get somewhere where there's people. So we're speed walking. Next thing I know, the person behind us starts running. Like I hear his footsteps running, and she screams, and I turn around. Don't tell you, honey, I had my 900,000 volt taser in my hand. I had like, it was like this. So, so I turn around, and as soon as I turn around, I was like, what? I like yelled at the guy. Like, I'm tiny, but I yelled at him like I was crazy or something. I was like, what are you doing? And when I said that, he grabbed me by my throat. And then she starts screaming. She's trying to help me. And I swing up my taser, and I was like, zah. When I hit him with that taser, he let go. He hit that ground. She kicked him while he was down. And then the other dude that was staying off in the crevices, the other guys were standing, they come running at us, and I was like, run. We turned around. I was a freaking Olympic track star that night. I was running so damn hard. When I say you running for your life, like I didn't even know I was tired. I had ran so hard. And I could hear the people. I could start to hear the music. And I was like, come on, come. And we're sprinting. Like, I'm like praying the whole time. Please, please, please. We're almost there. We're almost there. We hit that corner. It was like, skirt, skirt, skirt. We was gone. I was like, there's Bourbon. Because I could see all the people. Then I was like, there's Bourbon. So we was like running. And there was like a couple of police officers on horses. And they saw us running out. And she's screaming like, help, help. And I'm not screaming because I know if I'm running, I don't know how people can run and be screaming at the same time. I'm trying to preserve all my oxygen for my little heart, my lungs that I need to get that sprint on. And so she's screaming, help, help, help. And I guess by then, the two guys that were chasing us had stopped because they saw the police officers on the horses. And we ran up to them. By the time I got there, my adrenaline was pumping so hard. I was like, that guy tried to, I don't even know the guy. And they were like, what? So one of the officers went around. They was like, what do you look like? I was like, I can't even tell you. It was dark, blah, blah, blah. So one of the officers on the horses went around there and stuff. And other officers like, where are y'all trying to get? I was like, we're just trying to get to the park garage to get my vehicle so we can leave. And he was like, well, where'd y'all park? I said, D.H. Holmes parking lot. He's like, okay, well, this is Bourbon. Just go straight down. You know where you at? And then I was like, yeah. I was like, thank you so much. He's like, no problem. We walked, oh my God, we walked all the way back down Bourbon Street, got to D.H. Holmes parking garage, got my car, drove home, and we couldn't even sleep. Like, I was like, we almost died tonight. She was like, girl, I know. So, lesson of this story is to always be aware of your surroundings. Don't ever think you know a city like the back of your hands. And always, I cannot say this enough, be aware of your surroundings, be cautious, and yeah. Well, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. I'm so glad y'all stayed tuned to watch this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any of my story times or my eyeshadow tutorials. Also, if you haven't already, head over to Instagram and follow me at Shavonne.Richie. See what I'm up to. I always post things over there, motivational things, manifestation, things like that. So I would love to have y'all join me over there on Instagram. And I will see y'all guys next time. Bye.